Live from Appleton, Wisconsin, it's APTV.
Welcome to APTV, episode 514 for Thursday, November 2nd, 2023.
This week we have banter, news, updates, a trip to Ohio for Brian, the newest TWSBI, a new item for Vacuumatic repairs, Caran Inc., Exacompta index cards, a contest winner, a new contest, plus nothing that we can talk about that's coming soon. Is that true?
I think so. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Brian, are you going to tell me a joke? I live for that.
You do.
I do.
Why don't
I don't know.
Skeletons go trick-or-treating?
I don't know.
They have no body to go with.
That's cute. That's actually cute. Oh my God, I laughed at a joke.
Today is, as we film this, today is actually Halloween. So.
And we got 4 inches of snow?
We got an early Christmas present.
Holy
yes, we got
cow! And it's still coming down. I am not
had to brush off the car. I didn't have the extra snow brush that I normally keep outside the back door, so I had to.
We are not prepared for this, people.
But it's Halloween, and I have a Halloween pen.
Oh, funky.
For today.
Okay.
This is a Parker 45 in the hard to find orange color.
That is.
Isn't that cool?
Pumpkin orange.
And
that's great.
It has a stub nib, which is super cool. So I inked it today.
Find.
It's very hard to find the orange.
Okay.
Yes. So that's my pen for the day.
Speaking of Halloween, I would like to publicly apologize to you.
Why is that? You bought candy?
Oh God, no.
Oh my God.
No, we never got that 20-foot tall skeleton that you really wanted.
Every year this happens. I want this 20-foot tall skeleton. I want it in the front yard. Shoots me down every time.
Well, and we were going to Target to pick something up. We saw somebody had 2 of them.
Yes.
Flanking their columns in their house. And
I want one that's peers out over the top of the house from the back.
Well, you'd have to. Good luck with that.
We can work on it. Anyway,
we have a 2-story house that's with a very steep roof. I mean, that's up there.
We'll figure it out.
All right, anyway, next year.
Next year. Tomorrow, Friday, November 3rd, the 3rd of November.
It's a new day.
Is Fountain Pen Day. Watch your email for our Fountain Pen Day mailer. Sign up for a mailer, any page at andersonpens.com. We're going to have some specials.
Lots of specials.
I actually don't even remember what the specials are. We talked about them a month ago.
I think either Eric or I have gotten
someone needs to get me the list. Someone needs to get me the list soon.
Price adjustments.
But I know there are some good deals going on there for Fountain Pen Day. You can take advantage of those. Sign up for the mailer, and you'll get the notice.
Very cool. Sunday, November 5th is the end of daylight savings, so it's bring ahead, fall back. We gain an hour. I am so excited about that. Ends at 2 a.m. on Sunday. And enjoy the extra sleep. Brian will have just come back from Ohio.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
So you are going to need that extra sleep.
And that also means that when we leave work at 5:30, it's dark.
Yeah.
It is dark.
I hate that.
When you leave work. So Tuesday, November 7th is the U.S. General Election Day and International Merlot Day.
Nice.
Enjoy a glass of wine after casting your vote. We have some new experienced pens today.
You
should just never leave me alone in the store.
I should never. We tend to be the consignment and vintage pens for us tends to be really kind of a roller coaster because you never know when someone's going to want to downsize their pen collection, or there's an estate that needs to be handled, or Brian's going to Columbus, and it's a total crapshoot what he comes back with. Sometimes it's way more than exaggerating, fit in the car, and other times it's I got a bag of pens. You just never know. It has been...
It's been nonstop for the last couple of months.
So it's either feast or famine, and it's definitely been feast time for experienced pens.
So this is these are all modern?
Mostly.
Yeah, there's one vintage pen in here, one vintage Esterbrook. I'm not going to talk about them all. I've picked a number of highlights here, and I'm just going to kind of briefly go through them. These should be up on the website. They're getting photographed, and they should be up on the website by the end of the week.
There's some cool stuff here.
Vanishing Point Crimson Sunrise.
Crimson Sunrise.
2017 limited edition, and all these pens have been used. So these are not new old stock. They're not inked, but
they've all been inked.
They've all been inked. Yes, they've been cleaned. They're all in excellent condition. Very, very well taken care of.
Yes. This was a local user who we know personally, and the pens are all in.
So
great
this
shape.
is the only one that's going to come with a box. The rest of these do not come with boxes. This is box, all papers, with a whole ball of wax. So if you've been looking for the Crimson Sunrise to add to your collection, we do have one. The next one's a little bit of an unusual piece. This is a Pelikan M800 Golf. If you're a golf fan, not only do we have the fountain pen, we actually have the matching ballpoint pen. So this is being sold as a set, but it's M800. It's green ink window. It's got that lovely two-tone nib on there.
What size is the nib?
The nib is medium. So these nibs are mostly mediums and some broads.
Cool.
But really interesting M800. That's cool. Franklin Christoph, we got a model 02. Harkens back to the days of our own special edition 02. But this is kind of a cool, I don't know the name of this pattern. I just call it black sparkle. It's got a little bit of sparkle pattern to it.
I always loved the O2 because it had a slightly tapered barrel so that it posted really well.
It posts kind of short. I mean, not short, but it doesn't post absurdly long like a lot of pens do. So nice O2. The next one, I'm not particularly sure about which model this is, but this is the Graf von Faber-Castell. This is a nice black with this gunmetal, rough gunmetal trim. And
that's fun. It's definitely.
It looks cool. It looks used, and I'm pretty sure that the intent on that cap was that it's gonna scuff up and it's gonna
sort of like the Kaweco, the Stonewash, the blue and the black. They do the wear and tear for you. Yeah. But nice pen.
So nice pen. This one's got a two-tone, 18-karat broad nib on it.
Nice.
Sterling silver section. Really kind of a cool, if you're looking for a Graf, that's kind of cool.
And just an interesting, different look.
Yeah, it's different.
It doesn't look like everything else out there.
Pelikan M205. What is this? The Star Ruby special edition.
From just a couple years
steel
ago.
Nib, of course. This is one of the better ones.
This is a pretty one.
This is one of the better special edition M200s.
I saw that in the tray and picked it up.
Yeah,
I don't think it's coming home with me, but it's really pretty.
It's nice. It's nice. This is kind of I would call this semi-modern. This is bridging the gap. I mean, I guess now we're in 2023, so this almost could be considered vintage at this point. But an older Waterman wood friction fit cap, but it's got a nice 14 karat gold nib.
It's a nice pen.
It is a nice pen. Yeah, real nice. I also have another one in your classic black. In gold, why am I talking about a kind of a boring black and gold pen?
It's classic.
Look at this nib. It's monster. It's, what is this, a stub? This is a broad stub. It's outrageous, just outrageous.
With a shovel, we could use it outside.
We could use it outside, yeah. Here's another one. Classic, real classic, black with rhodium trim, Olmas Ogiva. This is the real deal, the real Olmas. A nice, what is this, a broad nib? Yep. Really, really nice. Broad gold nib. Now for something completely different.
This is fun.
This is kind of a collector's item here. I think this was a limited edition of 300 pieces. The Retro 51. Is this the Space Invaders?
Space Invaders.
I was a big fan of Space Invaders as a kid. I'm kind of surprised I don't really want to keep this, but that's all right. It's got the Retro 51. We got the stub nib on this one. Looks like.
Very cool.
So. If you're a retro fan and you didn't get this one, it was a limited. There it is.
And no box on that.
No box on any of these except for the Crimson, yeah. And last but not least, that we're going to show today, a Leonardo. I believe this is a Memento Zero, not 100% sure. But it's fitting for the day. It's Halloween today. And kind of an orange striped celluloid.
It's pretty, very pretty.
Gold-plated steel, number 6 Yovo nib. But if you want a Leonardo for not a lot of money, there it is. And then there are a bunch of other pens. Like I say, these are going up as soon as we can get them photographed, probably by Friday. It might even be up by Thursday. If there's one of those that piques your interest, give us a call. and we can talk you through it.
That'll be great.
So I'm going to go to the Ohio Pen Show.
You are.
As this airs, I am on the road.
And I am stuck walking to work every day.
You are not stuck walking to work.
I can drive the Corvette.
You can drive the Corvette. You can ride your bike.
I can, yes.
Dave can pick you up.
No. Garrett can pick
But
me up.
I am
It's
going to
all
be in Ohio at the Columbus, Ohio Pen Show
Yes.
Thursday, Friday, and part of Saturday. So I should be getting in today, Thursday, probably in
Early afternoon.
the early to mid-afternoon. Depends on how early I left this morning. We'll see what that is. Auction Thursday night. You can count on me being there. Friday, and then I'm going to leave Saturday, probably early afternoon.
What's our number one rule
Number
about
one rule?
attending an auction at a pen show?
Don't drink and bid.
Don't drink and
Drink
bid.
and bid. Yeah.
Don't
drink
ask.
a lot and bid.
Yeah.
Don't drink a lot.
You can have one. But yeah,
no,
because
there's
then you
a-
end up buying weird things and trying to outbid people. You shouldn't try to
Well,
outbid.
that's going to happen anyway, I guess.
know,
I'm excited. This year there's actually an auction. So last year, of course, if you don't remember, they didn't actually do a live auction. They did kind of a weird silent auction thing, and I decided I wasn't going to take part in that.
Yeah. So you're excited about this one.
It was too hard to bid.
It was complicated.
It was complicated, and I didn't want. There was a possibility you could win literally everything you bid on,
And you had no way to know.
You had no way to know. It was just
So this is better.
This is the regular old fashioned way.
Yep.
Get up front. Here's the item. Boom, boom, done. The
be-
90 some lots.
It'll
so
be
far.
weird for you to be there. And usually in Columbus, I would help at the auction. So
Yeah.
I won't be there to chastise you.
I don't know if they'll give me the same number. I usually get auction bidder number one.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is if you're not there, if Ben gives me number one, I can leave right away.
Right.
So
Right.
there's some good stuff in that auction. I think there's going to be
Okay.
there's some good stuff. So
Let's talk about pen shows.
okay.
What is a pen show, and how do you survive, and how do you get the most out of your experience if you've never been, or if you've only been to one or two? I know many people in the pen community are very outgoing, but many are introverts, and so how do you make the most of that?
Well, if you haven't watched all our podcasts about 5-6 years ago, like every other podcast was coming back or going to a show because
Right.
we did so many shows.
Yes, we did.
So, there are, what are there now? 14, 15 pen shows in the U.S. Throughout the year. Mostly, I don't think there's any in December still.
Correct.
So January through November, at least one a month. A big gathering of
Like-minded
individuals.
peeps.
Yep. Pretty much, tables are sold to vendors, but they're vendors, but they're also collectors, people who want to sell.
Many of them.
Many of them, sometimes they're retired folks who are,
Yep.
But a lot of these people have been doing the shows for a lot longer than we've been doing the shows. Maybe they don't do every show, but I mean, some of these guys have been doing shows since the 80s.
And
they started.
each pen show has kind of a vibe or a personality. Columbus is definitely a little more vintage heavy than some of the other shows out there. So if you are interested in a vintage pen, I mean, there are other people who will be selling modern pens.
Oh, there's going to be lots of
Absolutely.
there'll be lots of modern pens there,
Everything
but-
soup to nuts, but Ohio has historically been a little more vintage heavy. So this is a great opportunity to just see and hold some vintage pens maybe you've only ever read about or seen online, seen mentioned on forums. And so this is your chance to go and actually hold it and talk to people, ask questions. I won't touch them. Did you see that? I was good.
Yes, I saw that.
Before the podcast, Brian's like, okay, there are others, don't touch them. So I was going to reach for a vintage pen and I didn't. So I get brownie points for
So
that.
yeah, and like we said, Columbus, there going to be plenty of modern pens. There's going
Yes.
to be plenty of them, but it's actually Columbus is, if you put shows into 3 tiers: the big shows, the small shows, the little local regional things, and then kind of mid-tier. Columbus is kind of like it. I think for me, it bridges that gap between the LA and the DC, and the kind of the rest.
Right.
It's a pretty big show, but it's not LADC size.
And it's really very friendly. Terry Mayhorter, who organizes the show, is amazing.
He's a great guy.
And it's really well organized. It's very well planned out. There are classes for attendees if you want to go and watch a class or participate in a class. They feed you. There used to be, I don't know what they're doing now, but a pizza party and a dessert party. Yep. And there was something else. They always have coffee in the morning.
There's a wine and cheese party.
Wine and
usually
cheese
on
party.
Thursdays, but,
so lots of things to do. And the beautiful thing is you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. So if you want to go sit in on a class, you can.
Yep.
If you want to go to the pizza party, you can. If you don't want to take a class, you don't have to. My
recommendation usually, and they usually sell tickets, entrance. You can get them by the day, or you can buy the weekend pass. Now, if you only have one day to go, then you don't have a choice. But if you have an option to go early, I always say earlier is better. Now,
yes.
On the first day of the show, Thursday, and people are actually getting in Wednesday, and there's nothing going on Wednesday, so don't get there Wednesday. But people who are traveling will get there Wednesday, and you'll actually see people in the bar on Wednesday night.
Yes.
Flipping through pen binders. But Thursday, really pretty low key.
Yes.
There's not a lot of stuff going on. But sometimes on Thursday, that's the day when deals are made.
Sometimes.
Yes. It's not uncommon on a Thursday for there to be an estate that just sets up on a table. There's a feeding frenzy, and then by the end of the day, that's gone.
Right.
Friday, more people are getting set up.
Yes. That's when Thursday was always a crapshoot as to who was there. I don't even think a couple years ago, pre-COVID, did they even open the big ballroom until Friday, or was it only in the old hotel? It was just a small ballroom. Yeah. So not everybody's even there on Thursday. Yeah. Friday, it's busier, but still there's enough freedom and free time to actually talk to people. Saturday gets busy. Saturday, if you are a table holder and you are selling, whether you're a retailer or just letting some pens go from your collection, Saturday's busy.
This is a big
and
day.
You don't have a lot of time to have a whole heart-to-heart conversation. It's much more transactional. So if you can go on Friday or Sunday.
Friday's the best day. Sunday you got people leaving early.
Yes,
sometimes
to
people
catch a flight.
leave on Saturday night. Friday's really the best day. Now that does qualify as the weekend trader, so it's your weekend trader passes. I don't remember what it is, $50 or something like that. It's well worth it. I know if you don't have a huge budget, sometimes that's a lot of money, but
a budget.
It's well worth it because you could, especially if you're looking for something, rare, if you're a vintage collector, there's less people in the room. There's a better chance of you being able to look through everything a lot easier. There's less bustle. It's the way to go. So go early. That's my long and short of that.
The other thing is when you are done in the ballroom, don't just go to your room. Go to the bar. Even if you don't drink,
go to the bar.
Just go to the bar. There's always somebody there.
You hang out in the lounge. In the lobby
in the lounge or the lobby. You will find other people tucked away in corners on the couches. Yep. If there's a place to sit, there will be pen people showing off their collection, showing off what they just bought, asking for advice, just sharing, and it's really a great thing.
Yeah, I usually do a couple laps around the room because every time you go around, because it's really interesting the way it ends up working. I buy pens from you, I sell them to this guy over here, and then everybody's table changes throughout the day. So if you make one lap and don't go back,
you'll miss
out on something because the next time around, somebody's made a deal in advance and brought a box of pens for this other person, and now they've got 100 more pens on their pens, and then I come along, and one time I bought out a couple years ago in Columbus. It was last year. I bought out on a Friday most of one table.
Yeah,
and then I came around an hour later, and I was shocked to find they actually had filled in all the spots that I put in. So go around a couple times, and then And then I'll go out and sit in the lounge and I'll just relax.
Yes.
Because
it's a lot.
It's a lot of talking.
You're peopled out.
Yeah, you're peopled out.
The other thing is that whether you are brand new to pen shows or experienced, I mean, we did over 100 and some odd pen shows in 8 years. Every time you walk through, you will see something else. And you have been at this table and you have looked at these trays and he's only got 4 trays and you looked at everything. And then you go by and you come back, you go eat lunch, you come back. There's something you didn't see. And they may not have added anything. It's visually overwhelming and your brain just kind of says, okay, I'm done.
Or you learned something.
Yes.
You went by, you saw this table, you went to the next table, and then you saw a really cool pen you didn't know about. You talked to the owner, and they tell you all about it, and then you go back to the other table, and oh, lo and behold, he's got one too.
Right. So definitely, if you get overwhelmed, and a lot of people do the first time you go to a show, make a lap, and then go get some coffee, or just go get some fresh air, and then come back and do it again, or do 2 aisles. And then take a break.
Take a notebook. Take a pocket notebook.
Yes. And the other best advice is comfortable shoes. I promise you, no one is going to be impressed by what you wear. So be comfortable. Try to not bring big, bulky backpacks or giant purses, especially if you're going to be there on Friday or on Saturday, because you will be bumping into people. And stay hydrated. You're going to be talking a lot. You're going to be drooling over the pens. So bring water or get water there. But just ask a lot of questions and make some friends. And then the other thing is, I don't know if they're doing it in Columbus. I didn't actually look at the website. But often after hours, after the show closes, there will be people in the bar just gathering and playing musical pens and letting everybody try their new pens or talking about just...
This kind of informal gathering.
Yes.
It always happens.
Is this pool safe for diving? It deep ends.
Just in, the new TWSBI Eco Tea Rosso. What's so funny?
Nothing. I'm just happy. I'm happy to be here.
You can't wait to leave.
I can't wait to leave.
Really pretty. This is a regular color, so this is not limited, so relax. Really a bright rosy red. This is not like fire engine red. Pretty.
Yeah, it's a very distinct red.
Yeah, it's a rosy red. Very pretty. I like it a lot. The Eco Tea has the slightly triangular grip section. It's really
minimal. Yeah. I think it's like over talked
Overhyped.
about. Overhyped.
All right.
The piston knob and the top of the cap are triangulated.
That's cool.
Instead of the standard Eco cap, but while it does have, you can see it. It's not like a LAMY Safari or All-Star.
Right.
Yeah, it's not that extreme.
Shipping started this week, and we only have a few left, and these may be sold out by the time that the podcast, airs. But we will be getting more.
Yeah, just sign up for back in stock if the nib you want is not in stock.
Speaking of LAMY.
So this is kind of a funny story. I actually ordered these ages ago, and they never came, ever. I don't know what happened.
I think I had these in Chicago.
You never had these. I guarantee you never.
Sure?
I am so positive because I ordered for you, and I never got them. And I ordered them, and I finally did. I gave up trying to order them because they never came. I don't know what the deal was, but I ordered them again.
Okay.
And they came.
And what are we talking about?
We're talking about the LAMY Cursive Nib.
Here, let me hold that. I hate that.
I know you do. That's why I do it. This of course is a loose nib. It's a replacement nib, and it is available in black only. And it is, if I can quote the website, is designed for flowing handwriting and with specialty needs such as kanji, Sanskrit, Arabic scripts, and others. It has rounded ends in grind, create sort of an architect line. So it has actually very long. You'll notice it when you look at it. It's got very long tines. They're very narrow. It's not flexible, but
No.
it's
Yeah, it's really an interesting design.
so we'll
Kudos to LAMY for doing something so interesting.
and we'll put it on a pen and do a little
Yeah.
quick run through of it at some point here. So those are in stock, ready to go. Put it on
You
your
want one of
LAMY
these? These are cool.
Safari, your All-Star, your Studio.
Okay.
There it is. Next up,
Okay.
this is kind of
This
weird.
is all you.
This is
This
kind
is
of
kinda
weird.
weird.
I knew of this existence, so we have a new repair product, Anderson Pen's Vacuumatic Diaphragm Lubricant. So if you are familiar with the old Parker Vacuumatic manuals, one of the steps in repairing the Parker Vacuumatic they show is to apply Vacuumatic Diaphragm Lubricant to the diaphragm before putting it into the barrel.
Okay.
I've called hogwash on that particular step for many years. And the purpose of it is simply to ease the filling unit in so you don't bind the diaphragm
Okay.
when you screw it down, because you have essentially an acrylic or a celluloid barrel. You've got a latex sac and you're twisting it, and so you don't want to bind it and get it all mucked up. Usually you can get by doing other means,
But,
but I finally decided I was going to try this.
okay.
Night and day. Oh my goodness. I will never do another Vacuumatic repair without using this. And it's kind of I don't want to say it's a silly thing, but it'll make your life, it's a life changer. It really is. You apply a little bit of this on the front and back end of the diaphragm when it's in the filling unit before you put it into the barrel, and it just makes it so that the diaphragm it goes in so easy.
Okay.
It's a lubricant. It makes it so it doesn't bind up on the barrel. You know that when you tighten it down, the diaphragm's in the correct position. It is literally, unless you do a ton of vacs, it is a lifetime supply.
And it comes in the same bottle that we use for our shellac.
And it's got the little brush on it.
Yep.
We'll do a quick little video at some point coming up here soon about that.
Keep
but
Justin busy.
yeah, it was one of those things I said, well, I'm just going to try it. And I did, and I was like, you've got to be, I can't believe I've not been doing this
blown.
all this time. So
Cool.
There it is. It's now available.
Why did the birds attack the dog? He was purebred.
We're working on spotlighting things that maybe we don't talk about quite as much. And so Caran Dash ink. Number one, I wish they'd improve the box.
You don't like the box?
The box is cool,
Oh,
except
yeah,
when you
it's-
pick it up
if
from
you
the
pick
top,
it up from the top,
it's
yes,
not
yes,
closed.
yeah.
So we've had lots of people, drop it
Yeah.
or almost
Yeah, it used to
drop
happen
it.
a lot of pen shows.
Yes.
Yeah. But the rest of the design, I think, is
The rest
really
of
great.
it's really great. So it fits perfectly in here. This is the coolest bottle.
It's already tilted.
It's already tilted so that when you get low on the ink, it's easier to refill your pen. It's also an absolutely gorgeous bottle. You've got the beautiful silver cap. It's nice,
it's big.
thick glass.
The cap is big.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's awesome because I hate tight little plastic
Like
caps.
your
that-
Roshizuku cap, love the bottle. Hey, the cap has got to go.
Yeah, so
The
this is
cap
nice
just-
and significant.
Yeah.
Easy to turn, but it's just absolutely, I call
It's
it
cool.
jewelry for your
It's
desk.
unique.
Absolutely beautiful. The colors are really, really pretty. So here we've got the vibrant green, and then I've got divine pink, but just really a beautiful bottle, gorgeous ink, well-behaved, cleans out well, good flow. There's absolutely nothing that's going to cause a problem for you. There's no shimmer, so
no.
just really gorgeous colors.
50 ml bottle, made in Switzerland.
Yep,
So,
there you go.
Great. What else we got?
We also have Exacompta index cards. Now, many of you who've been using Exacompta things for a long time may remember that the index cards only came in a 4-pack of colors for the longest time.
Longest time.
And while they were great for fountain pens, they were
You don't always want
yellow, blue, pink, and green, I think, off the top of my
You
head.
don't always want that.
And so now we've had these for a couple years. Now you can also get them in lined graph or blank in white.
I'm just going to take a stab here and say we're partly responsible for these actually being available in the U.S.
Yes.
Because they were available in France, and we were kind of alerted to it, and somebody wanted it, and so we ordered like a ridiculous number of them, and they sold out, and then they came to the U.S. And then they jacked the price up, unfortunately.
Yeah, they did.
They're still affordable. I mean, it's still a good deal. But they were dirt cheap. They were silly cheap before. But
if you want an index card that is good for fountain pens, as opposed to, I mean, you can go and get cheap index cards anywhere, Staples, Office Depot, but there you get some feathering and sometimes some bleed through. These are way better.
So these are what, acid-free, 205?
205.
205, not just 200, 205 gram cardstock, 100 cards per pack.
Yeah, just really, really nice. And they come in a nice little box.
Yeah, nice little box.
So there you go.
We had a contest last APTV.
We have a contest, I think, every week.
We do.
We do.
Well, most weeks.
What is your favorite vintage pen and why? Or why don't you do vintage? So,
Okay.
All right. Johnny Montalvo says, as much as I love vintage Schaeffers, my favorite vintage pen is the Pelikan 400NN, especially in brown. It's also really nice that you can swap the 400NN nibs into modern Pelikans. I love that consistency.
Yeah, never changed. Love it. Love it. Yeah, Schaeffers. That was my first, believe it or not, I started collecting Schaeffers before I started collecting anything else.
Before Esterbrook?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
Speedbird says, my favorite vintage pen is a Mont Blanc, my only Mont Blanc. It's really unusual. It's made of Macrolon and has a semi-hooded nib and a snap cap. It writes like a dream.
Sure that's not a LAMY?
Wow, I like to see that. Which one is that?
That is cool. I don't know.
Tell me which
We're going to have to Google it.
Yeah.
Wayne Bosma says, I have a few vintage pens that I love. Probably my favorite is my Parker Vacuumatic. I like the way it feels in my hand, the way that it writes, and I like the push-button filling mechanism.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Melanie Botel says, my favorite vintage pen to me pen is the Mont Blanc Bohème, maybe not long ago enough to truly qualify as vintage, but not made anymore, sadly. Great size, build, and designs, and just a cool twist-up nib form factor. I want to collect them all. Yeah, it's a pretty cool pen. We had one in here not too long ago.
Yeah. Abdiel Acosta says, one of my all-time favorite vintage pens is the Wahl Eversharp Doric with the adjustable nib. Those are cool.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Do you adjust it? Or do you get it where you want it and then leave it?
Yeah, and you have to be careful on those adjustable nibs too, because if you adjust them
too often,
they can actually break. That tab can break on those. So, Tom Morley says, I love the old Schaefer Legacies with the inlaid nib. Before that, I loved the Parker 51s. There are some wonderful Watermans, though, and some other wonderful Schaeffers. Tom, I'm with you on the Legacies. I actually have a small Legacy 2, Legacy Heritage collection. I do love those. I've loved those for a long time. So.
Glenn Kelly says, mine would be the dark blue 51 that my grandson bought for me in an antique store. Very cool. You raised him right. It has been inked ever since I got it.
Okay. Marilyn Darling says, my favorite vintage pen is the Waterman 12 POC eyedropper with the Boinga nib.
I'm thinking that's a bouncy nib.
Such a nice pen. Yeah, good. Waterman 12. Very nice. POC says threaded cap, right?
Elizabeth Moulton says, my 1945 Parker 51. I used it and recently broke it. Oh, no. I need to see if it can be fixed. If it can, I'll still use it constantly. I just can't keep them in a box. They were meant to be used.
Should be, if you haven't already contacted us, we can probably help with that. Parts for 51s are readily available. So.
And the winner is Andrew Wells, whose comment was, you will have to post some pictures of your cats. We don't choose the winners.
Our mighty mice hunters. Congratulations, God. Andrew. Write to Eric at AndersonPens.com. He'll take care of getting credit on your Anderson Pens account.
We have a new contest. How many pens do you think Brian will buy at the Ohio show?
Who comes up with these questions?
Not us,
Is it Lindsay?
Clearly.
Lindsay doing this?
Or Eric. I bet it's Justin.
I do, and so he. I think here's how we're going to do this. Put your answer in the comments. And
You're allowed to do a range.
No.
1 to 25, 25 to 50, 50
if there's an
to
exact
500.
if there's an exact match and there's only one person who gets the exact number, they'll win. If there's somebody who's really close, they'll win. If not, it'll be completely random.
Okay.
So you can't do a range. You got to pick a number. When you go to the store and they got the jelly beans in the jar and they say how many jelly beans to win the prize, you can't just say 50 to 100.
Shouldn't it be like The Price is Right? The closest one who doesn't go over?
The closest one who doesn't go over. But if there's multiples, then it's going to be
a lot of rules this week.
How many pens do you think I'm going to buy? And just to give you an idea, I have bought.
It's going to be between not enough and too many.
It's going to be too many, I'm sure, when I come back.
We made Justin laugh.
I typically, and just to give you an idea, I typically will bring anywhere between. I usually bring at least one 96 pen case and a 48. And sometimes I bring two 96s and a 48.
And sometimes you bring extra trays in a box just in case.
So last couple shows have ranged anywhere between 100 and 150 pens.
Okay.
So,
but you never know who's going to be there.
You never know. I've had exceptional luck the last four shows.
Never know how much money I let you leave with.
Yes. So anyway, let us know in the comment section. One commenter will be chosen to win $20 credit on his or her Anderson
$20 credit.
We have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is there anything I need to know?
No, I'm on my way. You're just looking at a hologram right now. I'm almost.
I miss you already.
I know you do.
So the cats and I will have the house to ourselves for a couple days.
Great.
And the Corvette is in the garage.
Well, it's going to be because there's snow outside. She won't drive it anyway. So.
No, I don't want to drive it.
She's never driven it in all these years we've had it.
Nope.
Never once sat behind the wheel.
I sat behind the wheel.
I wasn't there.
Car was not on.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
Anyway.
Have a blast.
Thank
have
you.
fun.
I will
Make
check
good
in.
choices.
Make good choices. Yes. Don't drink in bed.
And if any of you see Brian at the show, check his pulse once in a while. Make sure he's still, not overwhelmed or not over.
Sometimes.
What's the word I'm looking for? Like carrying too much.
Sometimes I don't stop. I just go all day.
Make sure that he's hydrated and is not carrying too much.
Usually pretty good. I do carry a backpack because
overloaded is the word I'm looking for.
I do usually buy. It's not uncommon to buy pens by the bag. So anyway, cool. I'll be at the auction Thursday night. So if you're going to be in town and you want to hang out, stop by and say hi. So I think that's it.
I'll be here working very hard.
Thanks for joining us. Tune in next week for more talk about pens, ink, paper, and pen show recap.
There you go. You can check us out on social media as Anderson Pens, and please like this video, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel.
See you next time.
Bye.